Imagine waking up every day totally consumed by pain. Migraines, insomnia, and uncontrollable thoughts of ending it all fill every minute. You begin to hate watching the sun rise. For everyone else, light signals a new day filled with opportunity. For you, memories of joyful moments continue fading to black. And when the sun sets, crawling inside a bottle is the only thing that seems to numb the shame you feel from constantly letting your loved ones down. Imagine taking 12 different prescriptions each day, yet finding zero relief. You are literally a prisoner of your own mind, and you share a cell with rage. This is the reality of those living with a traumatic brain injury. After years of blast exposure while serving on the military bomb squad, combined with years of repeated blows to the head from combat sports, this was my reality. I watched the man I once was disappear as I begged doctors for help. They treated me with a mountain of pills, none of which provided any relief. Each new pill added to my daily dose just made the migraines, sleeplessness, and suicidal thoughts worse. And in April 2015, after 2 years of pleading with countless doctors and no break from the pain, I finally gave in to my dark passenger telling me to end it all. I was ready to find my relief inside the muzzle of my .45, provided instantly with just a trigger squeeze. A knock on my door and, "Daddy, are you okay?" from my 4-year-old son was just enough to stop me from transferring all of my pain directly to him. His tiny, scared voice from that night is permanently etched in my memory. I'm so grateful I didn't make my son carry the burdens that were too tough for me to bear. Every time I share this experience with someone, I'm reminded of how lucky I am to be alive today and where it's led me since then. Contrary to public perception, TBI isn't just an injury reserved for soldiers and athletes. There are 2.8 million new TBI patients each year. In fact, it's the second leading injury in the US. Based on this statistic alone, there's a good chance that some of you have suffered a brain injury or know someone that has. How has your mental health or theirs been since the injury? Many among the most vulnerable parts of our population suffer from brain injuries. A meta-analysis of 38 studies spanning 6 countries, including our own, found that 53% of all homeless have a brain injury. 80% of males incarcerated in the US have a TBI. For females incarcerated, that number increases to 99%. When I hear these statistics, or think about the friends, peers, and mentors that have been locked up or lost to suicide, it makes me wonder how we go through each day carefully protecting the hardware and software in devices designed to connect us faster, like our newest iPhone. But we fail to protect the hardware and software within our own bodies that truly connects us. Even with all of the technology that we have available today, mental health still remains the only area of medicine that fails to get an accurate picture of the organ they're treating prior to intervention. Providers rely on patients to report their symptoms in order to diagnose, and treatments focused on managing those symptoms with prescriptions. For a patient with a previous brain injury, these prescriptions can actually worsen their symptoms due to increased inflammation in the brain. More importantly, failing to treat the root cause of the patient's symptoms increases their risk of suicide and neurodegenerative disease later in life. How we're dealing with this issue is just intensifying the dysfunction and disconnection. Shortly after my suicide attempt, an acquaintance, who has since become family to me, noticed the pain I was trying to hide. Perhaps it was easy for him to recognize, since he had suffered similarly. Together, we spent 4 years researching TBI and treatments that could save us from the same fate many of our comrades have suffered. After personally experiencing the truly profound improvements in our own lives from these treatments, we founded 2 organizations whose sole purpose is to ensure that everyone that's affected can access this care. By collecting images of the brain and other diagnostics, our providers are able to identify and treat the root cause of patient symptoms. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm on this stage today because of these treatments and some amazing people that refuse to give up on me. It's because of these people that I'm finally able to be fully present in the love that I share with my wife and the abundance of joy that radiates from my 10-year-old son and 3-year-old girl. It's ironic to think that the keys to deep, meaningful connection in my life actually came from a time when I felt the most disconnected from everything. We walk through the pains of our life feeling all alone, but the truth is, we never really are. We're not all that different from one another. We're all searching for the same things in this life: to be loved, accepted, understood, to cherish the things that bring us joy. Despite how hard we try to avoid it, pain is also a natural part of our human experience. This world, it breaks all of us at some point. But it's our broken pieces that present the greatest opportunity for us to connect deeply with others. When we give ourselves permission to expose the cracks and holes in our life, the light in others guides us out of the dark. We find it so easy to accept what others feel insecure, inadequate, or broken about. So why is it so hard for us to embrace the perfect imperfections within ourselves? Rising up from the traumas that chain us down is only possible when we let others in so that they can shift our perspective. I share the most vulnerable, painful piece of my life with you today because I hope it gives others the courage to share what they're going through. Whatever you are battling, you don't have to fight it alone. I know there are many like me among our most vulnerable that will not have a chance to truly heal and integrate back into their communities unless they receive effective treatment. This can only happen if we begin to uncover the pains that we experience and the solutions that helped us heal. When we open ourselves up like this, we begin to exercise and experience empathy. Empathy is what liberates us from the prisons of our mind. Freedom from our own suffering and need comes from helping others relieve theirs. We spend most of our time on this earth building walls meant to protect us from pain, until we finally realize that those walls also restrict us from the most significant connections we will ever experience. When we finally muster up enough strength to share the afflictions we so desperately try to avoid, we discover that there are others who truly understand and accept all of us. Our species is wired with a biological imperative to connect. We need community in order to survive. When we finally accept the pains that we experience as a natural part of who we're becoming, we give ourselves and others an opportunity finally to discover the community that empowers us. The bonds we form from exposing what makes us most vulnerable is the very essence of what makes this life precious. Being loved and accepted in these relationships is what teaches us to love and accept ourselves. The greatest thing about all of this is that it is entirely our choice. We can continue letting our pain encourage the habits that make us feel helpless and hopeless, or it can be a resource that adds value to our existence by connecting deeply with others. Being brave enough to choose the latter enables us to become the sum of each other. And it's our collective effort that has a compound effect to restoring life with meaning.